want to thank everybody for joining us at our first global press conference. My name is Eric Brown. I'm the head of PR and communications here at Lithium. It's week 3, so it's an exciting week to be here. We do have several people in the room here in San Francisco, and we have media joining us around the world in Germany, the UK, and both coasts of the United States. So you probably know the news you're here for, but the person to give it to you today is the Lithium president and CEO, Rob Tarkoff. Rob, please come up.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming in. Hopefully these are the new mics. Okay, bear with me. Am I on? Great. Everyone hear me? Okay. Hi, I'm Rob Tarkoff, CEO of Lithium. For those who are on the webcast, thanks for joining us. So exciting news. We announced that we closed the acquisition of Klout. You guys probably have seen various reports on that were leaked into the media, but we are confirming today that we did, in fact, close that acquisition. Here with me today is Joe Fernandez. Where is Joe? There he is. CEO of Klout, who's joining my management team as the general manager and SVP of the Klout business. Would love to today share with you why we're so excited about this at Lithium, a little bit about what the new Lithium is about. So for us, this is less about Lithium acquiring a company and a technology. It's actually redefining who Lithium is. And this is really about a relaunch of our company, the opportunity to take the pioneer and the leader in measuring expertise and reputation over the social web with Lithium, who's been the leader in engaging customers and building online communities on the web. So it's great to have the two together. Just a little bit as a reminder about Lithium. We are the largest provider, as I mentioned again, of online communities and social engagements. We have over 300 iconic brands. You can see many of them there. We have lots and lots of traffic going across our networks. We recently released this statistic that we have 100 million monthly uniques now going across all the brand online communities that we provide, as well as our Lithium social web product. And we've been named a leader by many of the analysts and have been really a pioneer and really the only true SaaS solution end-to-end for this market. And it's been really exciting to have here. I have one of my board members, Gordon Ritter of Emergence, who's here to have some great backing from investors like Emergence and Benchmark and NEA, and most recently some public investors as well. So with that, what I'd like to do is just ask Joe to introduce you guys a little bit to what Klout does. You know a little bit about what Lithium does, and then we'll talk about the combination. So, Joe.
Thanks, Rob. Wow, this is an extremely exciting moment to be here for this announcement. You probably have heard of Klout from the Klout score, the atomic unit of Klout. I want to talk about how we got here. So, started the company in 2008 in New York. My jaw was actually wired shut, and I wanted to and I was using social media to communicate, so it was really the only way I could communicate. And I wanted to understand how my opinion and what I was saying was impacting those around me and what they were saying was impacting me. And the data was there to actually do this, so it was a really exciting moment. And if you fast forward to where we are today, we've evolved quite a bit since then, from starting out just on Twitter to adding the rest of the social web, to evolving into real-world influence by adding Wikipedia and search. We've invested a huge amount in our topic system to really get to what somebody is influential about, what their passions are. Most recently, we started helping people build their influence. We started suggesting to them content they can share, things that their audience are looking for, and help them shape their online persona even more effectively. And what's exciting to me about this relationship and why I wanted to partner with Rob and why we're doing this acquisition is we can now bring online communities. If you're an internet user and you're super passionate about various topics, and you're participating in these branded communities, that should be reflected in your reputation and your influence. And we want to share that to the world, and we really give consumers a new experience and empower them in ways in their interactions with brands that have never existed before. So I thank Rob and the Lithium team for signing up for this big journey. We're so pumped to go along with them, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. All right. So let me take you through a little bit here about some stats. So a little bit about Lithium. We've been around for a while. First took venture financing in 2007. For the first 6 years of its existence, Lithium operated as a bootstrap company that the founders ran. You can see here the total employees now will be well over 400 employees with more than 10 offices around the world. We focused our business, so remember again, the combination, the new Lithium's business will continue to be what our business has been, which is we sell to large brands, and we sell a platform that will now have benefit for both the consumer with the ability to manage their reputation, their influence or expertise, and the brand to be able to determine what the trust is of these people, of the content that they're creating, and be able to do that by using a sophisticated algorithm and an indexing and scoring system that Klout has developed to measure reputation and influence. So we do that in a couple of key verticals. We have some great customers, both customers that come to us from the Klout side and also customers that we've had, and very, very broad consumer reach now. Again, we are able to capture signals and data from over 500 million different consumers and use that to create a shared value system. If you think of companies like Uber or Yelp or Airbnb, there's shared value in that, right? For the consumer, I get to rate your room if I'm Airbnb, and I get to rate you as a guest if I'm the owner of that room. If I'm Yelp, I get to rate you as a restaurant. I get to learn more about you as a diner. There's shared value in these new networks. And that's exactly what we're creating. Lithium has always been a great way to get customers to talk to other customers or consumers to talk to other consumers about brands they love, stories about those brands they want to share, or help that they need. And now Klout brings the ability to put power in the hands of the consumer to manage their reputation, to be able to share topics of interest. The 500 million consumers that have been ranked and scored by Klout cuts across 10,000 different topics of interest. And when you combine those topics with information that companies are learning about consumers through online communities, it really brings the relationship piece into the CRM world. It develops a relationship of trust between consumers and brands. And that's really what is so different about this opportunity. Okay, so Lithium plus Klout equals the new Lithium. And it's really a big opportunity for us, again, here to be sharing with you some of the relaunch. We will become the leading network for brands and consumers, which will be anchored by this concept of a digital reputation. Again, a reputation that I as a consumer can manage and that I as a brand can use to better serve you, better market to you, or help you find what you need, opinions you want, or expertise you're seeking. It really becomes the single largest network of trusted content and trusted people. You are able throughout the customer lifecycle, whether you're looking for a product you want to buy, whether you're trying to get better service, whether you want to share a great story for a brand that you experienced, it gives you the ability to understand, should I trust that person? What is their reputation? Do they really know what they're talking about? And can I as a brand find a way to use that to better serve them, whether it's concierge level service or using their opinions to rebroadcast that out to my customer base? We always talk about at Lithium that 90% of people trust what their friends say and less than 15% trust what brands say, and yet brands keep firing advertisements at people that don't take into effect the networks of trust that people work in today. Trusted content and trusted people. That's really the key part of this acquisition. Over time, we believe that we will become the company that builds the definitive consumer product and brand profile by being able to come up with a reputation and expertise score for every person who talks across these 10,000 topics of interest, every product they talk about, and every brand they interact with. Okay, that's ultimately the big vision of what we're creating. I've already introduced Joe, so I sort of preempted that slide, but here's another great picture of Joe, SVP and GM of Klout. So again, I've talked about the why. This really delivers on a vision. It's one of the great things about this opportunity, as Joe and I spent time talking together, is the vision of Klout has been very consistent with what the vision of Lithium has been, and that is that the best content comes from out there from users. It comes from consumers talking to other consumers. And if I can create a way to measure that, the value of those people, the value of that content, the value of the things that they talk about as ranked by them, I have a huge opportunity to really take this concept of trust between consumers and brands to the next level. We add the massive consumer reach and reputation, plus the powerful platform that Lithium has for the world's best brands. And it really solves the big problem today, which is, how do I know who you are on the social web? How do I know who you are on online community? How do I take advantage of that relationship as a consumer to put my best foot forward, to be able to share with you my opinions and have you understand who I am in relationship to your brand? So we believe that it provides a great foundation for a whole new set of products that we're going to be launching. This will be launched at our link coming up in May. So we're inviting all of you to be there. Those of you who aren't currently planning, get your ticket while they still last. It's the hottest thing next to the NCAA Sweet 16 in Madison Garden right now, what I've heard. But May 20th to the 22nd is going to be the conference here in San Francisco. So with that, I'd like to just open it up to questions here. And we have a number of members of the management team, both coming in from Klout as well as Lithium here. So I may share the wealth in terms of answering, just so everybody gets a chance. But with that, let me say thank you again, and I'm open for questions.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi, Rob.
Hi.
Formerly CRM, I joined Exchange.
Could I get you to, I didn't mean to cut you.
Sorry.
We're going to take questions into the mic so that everybody on the
So
Ustream
you're
can
going to
hear.
do that whole thing again.
And then, yes, sorry. And for anybody on the Ustream, if you could please send in your question along with your name and the media outlet you represent. We'll announce that for everybody on the call as well. So first question here in the room in San Francisco.
Sure. Hi, Rob.
Hi.
Kelly, formerly CRM Magazine. We've talked a couple of times.
Yeah.
I'm with AdExchanger covering digital marketing. I know you've made a couple of acquisitions, Social Dynamics, and now obviously Klout. Where do you see yourself in, I guess, the broader enterprise play now?
Yeah.
Sales, customer service, or marketing, or kind of all of the above?
So great question. And what we have been seeing is the worlds of service and marketing really coming together. And it's being driven by this concept that your greatest asset as a brand is your customer base, because they can serve as your advocates. They create opinions that people look for as a source of expertise, a source of advocacy, a source of trust. Because again, people want to know other customers like them who have interest in the same products or expertise in these areas. What do they think, right? So that's been the biggest driver. And we started to really see quite a bit of traction as a company in the world. And we talked about this when you were at CRM, about the world of service. We can create these highly vibrant communities and social response platforms to surface your best experts, to fix problems, to find answers, and drive value for a company. But increasingly, CMOs and marketing professionals have been coming to us saying, hey, that's great what you do for our service departments, but we want to take advantage of that in marketing. And the biggest gap that we felt we had in being the leading provider for that is we needed to create the context for the marketer of who these same people were in the broader social web. We understand who they are in our communities, but I want to know what's their influence across these same topic areas more broadly, and how do I connect the social web and the online community. And so that's similar to what we did with Lithium Social Web in the service world. Was if you tweet a problem, we have a platform to answer at scale, to find the right answer, to route it to the right expert inside the organization, and to give you the best service, which raises your NPS score and CSAT. Huge win for companies. But now I can not only provide that great service experience, but I can also provide you an opportunity to cross-sell and upsell to that same customer and to use that service experience as a way of understanding what am I creating in my customer base through the great service I'm providing. So Klout was a great way for us to bridge the worlds of service and marketing by being able to capture this opinions, and how does that relate to what happens in the world of service. So increasingly, the blinds between when I'm fixing a problem and when I have an opportunity to sell more, service you better, or create word-of-mouth marketing are blurring. And so for us, this was the perfect way to build the bridge from service to marketing.
Rob, I'm going to get some questions from the Ustream, and if I could have you and Joe sit next to each other, I adjusted the camera
on,
there.
Joe.
That would help. And we know we're having a few problems with that camera, but hopefully you can still hear their answers. This question is coming from the Ustream. It's what changes to the Klout experience can consumers expect as a result of this acquisition?
Sure, I'll start that. Klout is one of the first conversations Rob and I had was about the consumer side of this relationship, and we both want to change the way companies and consumers interact, and the only way to do that is to have a place where consumers can go, a base where they can control their profile and manage their social connections, and that is Klout. So Klout is going to maintain a brand and maintain a destination, and we're going to obviously keep evolving it with the assets that the combined company now has.
Great. And Liz Gann with Recode has a question.
Hi,
Hey.
Liz.
Liz Gaines with Recode. I was wondering if you could talk about, well, I understand you're not talking about the value of the deal, but I have to ask if you would. And maybe you could go, if you don't want to say a number, maybe you could talk about, is this an all-stock deal? But other than that, also wanting to know a little bit about the history of this. Was this, did Lithium try to kind of build a Klout internally, or was Lithium a Klout customer, and that's how you met each other? Maybe you could talk about when this dates back to and why you met up and how that happened.
Sure. Let me take the second question first, and then I'll deal with the first question. Is that okay? So that, because the history is more interesting. Originally, Joe got in touch with Mike Betzer, who was the CEO of our Social Dynamics acquisition, to talk about how Klout could get integrated more deeply with the Lithium Social Web product. Lithium Social Web, for brands, provides the ability to respond at scale to anybody who's talking about your company over social media. And we found that there would be a great opportunity to just start to integrate the Klout score with that capability. And that more broadly turned into a set of conversations about, well, many of the things that Klout believes are driving the economy, reputation, expertise, the ability to really understand what people know and how valuable that is to companies, are the same things that we think is driving the economy. And so are there ways in which richness of the communities that we have can meet with the reach of what Klout had on the social web? So I think of it as a perfect marriage of richness and reach, meaning we have all sorts of context about what people are talking about. Millions and millions of long-form conversations every week happening on our communities. And Klout has the reach of knowing more broadly who are these people across the social web, and how do we score them, and how do we rank them, and what is the relevance of them by topic area. And so by bringing these two together, we just started talking about, wow, we could really be something extremely unique and incredibly disruptive to CRM. And that's what I think we're providing. I mean, this is the new way people want to do business. They want to understand the new meaning of trust, and trust by product, trust by person, trust by brand. And the only way to really do that is to understand what people think of them, how their opinions are valued, and how that factors into your relationship with them as a brand. So that'd be...
Yeah, I'll add just a couple points. Lithium's a company I've admired since the very early days of Klout. One of the founders, Lyle, is a friend. And I always thought of us as two sides of the same coin. We both put people at the center of the value equation and believe that their content they create and the trust around them is the most important part. So when I finally met Rob and we sat down, it pretty instantly clicked. And the alignment around vision of what we were trying to accomplish, culture in terms of how we thought about building a company, and opportunity in terms of how big we both wanted to go and what we saw the long-term possibilities being. And it was also super clear that this sped it up for both of us. So the conversations moved quickly, and then the decision was actually really easy. It felt very natural, and we have we're aligned, and we're playing. We've gotten to a bigger playing field for both of us, and that's what's exciting to me about this opportunity.
So let me address the value point head on. We are a private company. This was a stock deal. And if the reports on the value of Klout are true, that makes Lithium an extraordinarily valuable company, and I'm happy about that.
Great. We had a question from the Ustream that was also about the purchase price. And we have a question on, will Klout remain in their current headquarters on Stillman in San Francisco?
Yeah, so we are going to continue to keep Klout in its current building for some period of time until we can consolidate all here in San Francisco. We're actually going to move some of our employees into the Klout office for a period of time to kind of help everybody get to know each other better and build alignment. And then at some point we will consolidate here in San Francisco in our headquarters.
Great. You have a question here from Terry Brock. Joe, what would you say to Klout users who are wondering about any differences they can expect with the hashtag new Klout? Will the hashtag new Klout interface remain the same?
Yeah, one of the key decisions besides the relationship with Rob and the team here was, what's the benefit for our users in this? And everything for us, we've always said we work for the influencers. We're not like, that's the center of our world. And the idea that the conversations you have about your passions, your interests in the various branded communities that Lithium supports can now be a part of your Klout score, and we could have a more holistic view of your influence, I think is incredibly powerful. And that to be able to provide that to our users on Klout is something we're really excited about. And it's something we've been hearing from them they want for a long time. So Klout will continue to evolve and continue to provide insights into your influence and help you grow it and help you be rewarded for it.
Yes, question in the room here from Dow Jones.
I'm Deborah Gage. It's my perception that Klout struggled a bit to find a business model. I talked to you early on when you raised money, and I use Klout, but I never paid for it. And I wondered if you would comment on that, if that's an accurate perception. And
I think it's in some ways we monetized super early. Our first big deal, I think people probably remember Virgin America giving free plane tickets away on Klout. We were like 3 employees. And I think that set a tone where we had a tough time figuring out how the business case seemed so obvious, but we wanted to grow the consumer base and provide true utility to individuals and users. So we struggled organizationally to figure out how to balance, but we didn't struggle finding the right opportunity. And over the last kind of year or half year that we started focusing on it, last year we did, we cracked the $10 million in revenue milestone, which was a big step for us. And this quarter, in fact, is our biggest sales quarter in the history of the company. We were on a pace to hit break even late this year or early next year. So, I don't think it was still early in the business side of Klout. I think, we definitely struggled internally how to manage it, but it wasn't for lack of opportunity.
do you feel you can just get bigger faster?
Yeah, if I were to think about the next few years of Klout, it would be going through the last few years that Lithium went through in terms of building an amazing management team, building out a sales force, building out a marketing engine, and to be able to piggyback on that. And as a founder, obviously I'm incredibly driven by our mission, but that's matched by being opportunistic about being able to jump those steps and to be able to play on bigger fields. And that was really exciting to me in this deal.
Great question from the Ustream. Rob refers to Klout's measurement of reputation and expertise. I have not heard the word influence used yet. Klout has previously said they measure influence.
Yeah, so Joe and I have talked, this is what we've spent a lot of time talking about. I think influence is a loaded word, right? And a lot of people, when they hear about that, say, well, what's really behind that? And as Joe and I started to talk about what is the measurement and what are we really getting at, we realized that underneath this broader concept of influence is really some very fundamental notions around who you are, what your reputation is, what your expertise areas are, what your interest areas are. And again, it's the ability at massive scale, for Klout to process 10,000 different topic areas across all these areas, and to combine that with what we do inside communities around really identifying experts and trends and really trying to find out what it is that a customer base really wants at any particular time. That's what was really unique to us. So whether you call it reputation, expertise, influence, it's giving you deep insights into what it is that customers are really looking for. And for brands, that's hugely valuable, because today so many of them waste their time trying to discern different signals that consumers themselves don't participate in. How about a voluntary system that a consumer opts into that says, these are the things I care about, and I'm telling you that. I'm telling you that, and I'm letting my network of friends validate what my position is on that, as measured by whether they follow me or with their reactions to things I say, or my reputation online. So again, back to this notion of shared value. The idea that we can create an enterprise software company that's good for consumers is really our mission. A company that gives consumers the power to have a say in their profile, to be able to manage that profile portably across different brands, across different communities, to be able to use that as a way of getting whatever their outcome is. It may not be that they want to publish a lot of stuff. They just may want better service on something. They may want more relevant content delivered to them. And the ability to combine this consumer value prop with the enterprise value prop for consumers and brands is really what's very powerful here. And so that's really what's at the notion of the data, and the influence, reputation, expertise, whatever you want to call it.
Great. Another question from the Ustream. Will fellow customers be able to see each other's scores within the Lithium communities?
So everything that we build inside of Lithium is built on behalf of our customers. So anything that a customer shows in their community is their choice. We will offer our customers all sorts of different options about ways in which they can improve the experience. And in the end, it's our job to help convince them and to have them understand why it does that. So far, the reaction has been amazing. We've gotten customers who've not only jumped at the opportunity to say, we want to do this right now, where's the product? But we've also had customers who said, it's this notion of connecting a broader measure on the social web with the measure in the community that I've been looking for. And we're now going to provide that for them. And particularly when you integrate that into their existing systems, point of sale, loyalty, advocacy systems, you get a 360-degree view of the customer that was never before possible. And that's, again, the big opportunity that this acquisition provides for us.
Great. If there are any other questions on the Ustream, let me know. Anything else in the room? There is one question on Ustream about cultural mesh, and if you guys would like to tackle that, how the two companies' cultures will mesh.
Yeah, so I'll say something to you. I mean, one of the they're blending very nicely already. One of the big things about how I run Lithium is on the basis of company values. The first thing I did when I came in was work with the team to establish the real values that we thought defined the culture, not only as it was, but what we wanted it to be. And we did an exercise yesterday when we had the all hands, and we lined up our values against Klout's values, and it was remarkable that there's almost a one-to-one linkage as you go down the 5 values that are almost exactly the same. Now, some of the ways that Klout said it was slightly different. I love that. They have one value at Klout, which is punch mediocrity in the face. I love the power of that. You know, our value that kind of corresponded to that was we build products we're proud of. I sort of like the punching metaphor, and we might go a little bit more with that. So there was a remarkable alignment, and I don't know if you want to comment on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I really passionate about the Klout team. Obviously, you know, we've built a special culture. You know, we consider ourselves Klout laws, and it's like you know, very tight family, and you know, been approached many times about acquisitions, and I would only do it if I believed that we weren't just aligned on opportunity, but on culture, on just how we think about building a company. And it was obvious very early, again, that we are. And the teams have meshed really quickly. I think it's going to be, I think this will be, of course, we'll have our challenges, but compared to most of these types of deals, I think you'll find this will be very successful because of that.
And the last thing I'll say is it always starts with the founders. And Joe and Ben, as the founders of Klout, have a great vision for what they want to do and a great team that they've built behind them. I think the teams coming together, they're really the ones who formed this vision. And so that's what's powerful. I mean, Joe and I talked about things a lot, but it was our teams that really came up with the real meat of what we were going to go execute here, and that's powerful because it's not us trying to tell everybody else how to do it. They've actually told us what's going to happen. So that's always powerful from a culture perspective.
Yeah. If Lithium was a stodgy enterprise company, like, this wouldn't happen.
But this is the first time I've ever worn a tie. Everybody said, like, what is that around your neck? So, yeah.
So I think together we're going to be as proud of our future as the Klout team as we are of our past. I'm very confident of that.
I know that it was a press conference. I don't know. I wore a tie. My wife said wear a tie. I said, okay.
Great.
Do what she says.
One final question on the Ustream, then we'll wrap here. Before we do, I want to say if you do have questions that were not addressed and I can help, again, it's Eric Brown. I'm on the comms team here at Lithium. My email is eric.brown, BROWN, @lithium.com. I want to thank everybody in 4 countries and a couple of coasts for joining us today. And those of you in the room in San Francisco, thank you for dealing with what was bad traffic this morning. So the final question, and then we'll wrap, which starts off with, keep up the great work you're doing, Joe. And I want to ask again, what can I do now to raise my Klout score?
The people always ask, it's the number one question I get is, how do I raise my Klout score? I almost can't go out without getting that question. And there's 400 different factors that go into calculating our Klout score. We look at 15 billion pieces of data per day. But it really all boils down to how trusted is the content you create. Like, when you create stuff, do people care? Do they react? Do they listen? This relationship, this new partnership, gives us the ability to find that content for you to express your passions and interests in even more places. So, we're trying to give you as many ways to increase your Klout score as possible, and that is a big part of this deal.
It was the first question I asked Joe, too, and he gave me actually a more rigorous answer was, over my dead body, will I do anything to compromise the formula for the CEO of Lithium to raise his Klout score? So I'm working very hard, as all of you should, to get out there and share the topics of interest and things you love, and the rest is pure math. So an event. Thank you very much for all coming and joining us. Happy to take more questions offline.
Yeah.
That's it. Thanks. Okay. All right.